how you can create success online. Hey, I'm JR Fisher, and if you've been wanting to be successful online, there's certain things you should do and certain things you shouldn't do. Now, I've been selling online since 2009, and we've sold millions of dollars worth of products, both digital and physical products. And in this video, I'm going to show you the top 10 things that helped me become successful online, and we're starting right now. Hey, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. There's a big subscribe button down there. You got to click that button, and next to it there's a bell just like this. You got to ring that bell, you got to smash that bell, and when you do that, you got to turn on all notifications so that you can become one of my VIP members of the Fisher family, and that way every time I do a new video, you'll be notified about it. Also, at the end of this video, I've got an e-commerce course. It's awesome. Why? Because it's $97, but since you watch this video, you can get it for free. All you have to do is click the link and learn. No credit card required. Okay, let's talk about the top 10 things. Number one is never stop learning. You know, this is the biggest one that's really helped my business because so many things have changed over the past almost 10 years since I've been selling online. New software has changed, and landing pages change, and email providers change, and advertising and products, and just the list goes on and on and on. Just because you know something today doesn't mean it won't change by next week. So you've got to constantly keep learning. You got to constantly see what's out there, and you got to constantly be getting all this information and applying it to your business. Number two, create a solid business plan. Now, a lot of people will say, well, I don't know how to do a business plan. I don't understand how to do this. First off, let me share something with you because it goes along with number one. You can Google anything. Okay, anything you want is online now. There's really no excuses for not knowing how to do something. It's quite simple. Just type it into Google and you'll get the result, and you can learn how to do it. But let's get back to this business plan thing. What is a business plan? A business plan is really just a path that you plan to go down. So if you're going to be selling a physical product online, you would want to source that product. You would want to do some research and figure out who could supply that product to you. Do you need to buy that product? Can you have that product drop ship? Then you want to think about social media, what type of accounts you want to have there. You want to think about how you're going to advertise that product, the prices you're going to sell it for, what your profit margins are going to be, and you want to go through every detailed step of running your business so that when you finally get the business off the ground, you have a path to follow. Without having a path, that's pretty difficult. I mean, all of us could say, well, we could drive from one end of the United States to the other. That's not hard to do because we would get a map, we would, you know, use a nav system, we would do something to get us there. And to say that you would just get in your car and drive and hope you showed up there, well, that would be kind of crazy. So these are all things we have to plan out, and yeah, it takes a little bit of time, and you're going to run across things you're not going to want to do, and I totally get that, but that's what's required. And if you don't do that, you're going to find that you're not going to do too well online. Number three is know your competition. Wow, this is probably one of the biggest things that's helped me out over the years, and I don't just mean in the products we sell. I mean in probably every facet of what I do. There's always somebody out there doing already what you want to do and getting good results. And hey, if there's nobody doing what you want to do, you either have the best idea in the world or the worst idea in the world if nobody's doing it. But you want to look at, you know, what are they selling the product for? How are they delivering the message? What type of content are they doing? You've got to see what they're doing. And I use the competition thing all the time. If I'm selling coaching services, I may go out there and look at how other people are selling coaching services. I may look at their sales pages, I may look at their pricing, I may look at what they offer, and I can emulate all that. You know, if it's a video I'm going to be doing, I may look at people who've gotten a lot of views on one of their videos and say, well, maybe I should do a video like theirs because they got a lot of views. So nowadays it's super easy to figure out who your competition is and to see what they're doing. Years ago you couldn't do that, but with the advent of the internet, I mean, you can look up anybody and you can see their methods and you can emulate them if they're successful. And that's all you really have to do to be successful, is do the same things that your competitors are doing. And I would go so far as to saying, if they're selling a product online, I would actually buy that product and I would look at their sales funnel. What do they offer after that? What kind of emails emails do I get after that? What type of ads am I going to see after I visited somebody's web page? So all those are things that you can actually emulate and get good results right off the bat, because they've already done all the work. They've already figured out what works because they're getting results. All you have to do is do something similar. Number 4, understand your value. You probably have more value than what you realize. I think this is one of the biggest fears when people go online, is they want to be the cheapest one out there. That's the way I'm going to get the business. I'm going to undercut everybody out there, and that's really not how to do it. I've been selling survival food online since 2009, and we're not the lowest priced person out there, and yet a lot of my competitors who were a lot cheaper than me now are gone. They don't even have a business anymore. They actually went out of business. So understand your value and what your product's worth. If you sell your product cheaper than everybody else, people are going to look at that and go, well, that must be the lowest in value product there is. In other words, this must not have much value, or they couldn't be selling it that cheap. And I see this a lot when people are doing, let's say, coaching services, and they say, well, wow, nobody's going to pay me $100 an hour to coach them, or nobody's going to pay me $500 an hour. And I was guilty a little bit of that when I started doing coaching, because I was charging, I think, $450 or $1,000 a month, and they got 2 phone calls, so still that was $250 to $500 an hour, and that was really too low. Once I got it figured out, and once I started having more coaching clients, I realized I could charge $1,000 or $2,000 an hour. And I had one client that paid me $63,000 for 90 days, and I probably spent 4 hours a month on that client. So I undervalued myself. Don't fall into that trap and undervalue yourself. You probably have a lot more value, and if you charge more than some of the other people, especially if it's a coaching thing or a course or whatever, people are going to attach more value to it. It's probably easier to sell a $1,000 course than it is a $7 course, just because people think it has no value. Number 5 is market smart. And what do I mean by that? You want to do the smart way of marketing. And there's a lot of social media sites out there. I mean, there's Twitter, and there's Facebook, there's YouTube, I've got so many. Well, I don't even want to list them all, but there's so many out there. And a lot of people say, well, I've got to be on every single social media thing there is out there. And the problem with that is you spread yourself really thin. We primarily concentrate on Facebook and on YouTube. Those are the 2 things. Now, I'm not saying you can't do more than those. There's certainly some good ones out there, but I know that my time invested in those 2 particular platforms is going to be best served, and I can do a better job if I'm doing like a lot of videos on YouTube than if I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn and all these other things I'm trying to post every 10 minutes and do funny memes and all that's just not smart for me. So you really got to market smart. You got to figure out what's the best thing to do with your time. And the thing with time is this: people will say, well, I don't have enough time. You don't know what my day's like. You don't understand what my day's like. Your day's just like everybody else's. Okay, you have 24 hours, and you decide how you're going to spend your time. So if your time is booked up with stuff, you need to look at the stuff you're doing. If part of your time is booked up with looking at your friends Facebook feeds, maybe you should cut that out, and maybe you should spend that time on writing a book or writing a blog or doing a video. But your time is the same as everybody else's, and as soon as you realize that, as soon as you realize you filled up your day with stuff that you want to do, and I do say want to do because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do this, but I have to. No, you don't have to do it, but there's consequences if you don't, and that's what you're afraid of. Number 6, keep your day job. This is something I did. Definitely I did in the beginning. I didn't know how to make money online. I didn't know when I was going to make money online. I didn't know what to do to make money online. So what I would do is when I got home late at night, I would spend an hour or 2 online trying to figure stuff out, trying to sell stuff, and I had my day job. So I always had an income. If you don't have a lot of money in the bank when you quit your job and go to sell online, it could get real dangerous real quick if you don't have that income coming in to pay all your bills. So that's a big thing I will tell you, is keep your day job until you have enough income to where you can replace that job. And I don't mean the first month you make some money so you go quit your job. I mean, make sure you've made money for several months and you can see that it's growing or heading in the right direction. Number 7 is not easy to do, but I'll tell you, if you can do it, do it. And that is find a coach. This is so important. I was unable to do this in the beginning. I couldn't find anybody out there that was doing what I wanted to do, so I couldn't find somebody. I do coach people now, and I have a limited amount of spots for that, and what I'll do is I'll put a link below so you can fill out an application for coaching if you'd like to get some coaching from me. But if you can find somebody who is actually doing what you want to do and getting good results, and on top of that, that person wants to coach you, I would definitely pay for the services. That's so important, because people say, well, I don't want to pay somebody to learn something. I'm just going to go learn it on my own. but what you forget is how long will it take you, and will you actually ever figure it out? Some people do. I did. It took me a long time, but could it be more cost effective to pay somebody? And you say, well, I can do it on my own for free. You're really not doing it for free, because even if you're spending your own time to do all the research and figure things out, your time has some value, and it's generally what you're getting paid on your job now. So if you're getting paid $20 an hour on your job right now, and it takes you 100 hours to go out and try to figure this stuff out, and hopefully you do, but if you go out and spend 100 hours at 20 bucks, you've already spent $2,000. If you spent that $2,000 on a course, let's say one of my courses or some coaching or something from me, what would that get you in that amount of time, and how quickly could you figure it out that way? Number 8, manage your money. Ooh, this is a big one. This is a really big one, because online sales is not like your job. If you're making $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month on your job right now, you can pretty much I guess assume you're going to get paid next month. There's no guarantees on any job, I will tell you that, but you can assume you're going to have X number of dollars coming in. The thing with online sales is you can have a day where you're going to sell $1,000, and that's great, but you can't just take that $1,000 and multiply it out times 30 and say I'm going to make $30,000 a month, because the next day you may make $20, the next day you may make $2,500. It's going to be an up and down thing, so you really have to learn to manage your money. And what I mean by that is you want to constantly be putting money in the bank and extending out how long you could go without any money. And what I mean by that is, get 3 months worth of money in the bank. You know that you're going to be okay for 3 months. And when you do that, don't spend that back down again. Keep building towards 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So always be spending less than what you're taking in, and understand you may need money for advertising. You may need money for inventory. You may need money for office people, for staff, for employees, whatever. And if you don't have that extra money set aside, you're going to run into problems. So I guess my biggest thing is don't spend everything that's coming in. That's a very dangerous thing to do. Number 9, you're not going to like this one. Be prepared to work. I mean work, and I mean work really, really hard. Having your own business, everybody thinks, well, I just want to work 4 hours a week and make $1 million a year. Well, sure you do, but that's not what's going to happen. Now, I'm not going to tell you that at this point, after all these years online, that I can't take off some time. Today I took off, and my wife and I had a nice lunch together. We weren't rushed to get back, and nobody was going to yell at us if we were late or anything like that. But I've also put in a lot of hours to get there, and you're going to have to do the same thing. If you are starting an online business so that you don't have to work as much, you are doing the wrong thing. Just stick to your job, whatever it is, stay there, because building a business online takes a lot of time. There's been many months I've worked 7 days a week, and I don't mean 12 14-hour days, but some I do. Some days I've worked 16 hours in a day. So if you really want to build an online presence and you want to build an online business, you're going to have to put in the hours, and it's a lot of hard work. I'm not going to tell you it's not. If anybody tells you you can start an online business and it's super easy, you don't have to work much, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're lying to you. Number 10, be flexible. Flexibility is so very important. I can't count how many times I wanted to do a particular thing, and due to circumstances, due to inventory, due to the market, whatever, those things changed. Now, I originally started selling cell phone cases online, and that was my chosen thing. That's what I wanted to do, and I quickly found out that I couldn't make any money selling cell phone cases. Now, maybe it was me, but it didn't work out. But it led me to different things. It led me to survival food, and I started a survival food company, and that survival food company paid a lot of my bills, and I was doing really well at it. And then I looked at other ways to make money. Then I started doing courses, so I came out with courses, and I started teaching courses on how to make money online. And then I started doing courses on running ads and started making money on that. Then I started doing other things that helped me build more credibility. I had a book that had to do with survival food. I had another book that had to do with selling products online. So it's constantly adapting, and not just adapting to what you do, but what tools you use. As far as email providers, I think I've been through, I don't know how many, Constant Contact. I've been through MailChimp. I tried Aweber. I used Infusionsoft, and now I'm with Kartra. And oh, by the way, Kartra's the best. I'm going to put a link below where you can actually watch a video on Kartra that will do all these things for you. It'll build sales pages and landing pages, and it's email provider, and it's a video host. You just got to check it out. But there'll be a link below, and if you want to get Kartra, you can get it for $1. Now, I didn't have Kartra 2 years ago. Why not? Because it didn't exist. So So you've got to be open-minded. You got to constantly look at what's out in the market. What is it that's going to help you build your business? What direction do you need to go? Which path do you need to go down? You know, if I had just stuck with cell phone cases, I would have quit. You know, if I just stuck with, you know, survival food and the ups and downs, I would have had a hard time. So it's constantly building your knowledge base. And I would say the big thing about selling online is learning how to market online, because once you learn to market online and you learn how to sell products online, whether it's physical or digital, it doesn't really matter what you're selling. You've developed that talent, and that talent you could apply to all kinds of products. Heck, if you get tired of one product, you can go market another one. And I've known plenty of people who have done that. They started off in one area and they've tried 9 different things and they've all worked out okay, and they just get tired of it and switch. So that's my best advice. That's my top 10 things that have really helped me out, and I hope it helps you out. As a matter of fact, why don't you comment below and let me know which one you think would work best for you and which one you plan on using, or maybe you've used one of these. I would love to hear your stories behind that. Do me a big favor, subscribe below if you haven't done it. If you're not part of my family, the Fisher family, the VIP folks. Oh, but to be a VIP, you got to ring the bell. You got to smash the bell down there, and when you do that, you got to turn on all notifications. Here's what that does. It allows me to send you an email every time I did a new video. In addition to that, I've got an e-commerce course I would like to just gift to you. It's a $97 course. There's a link down in the description. All you gotta do is click on it, click and learn. No credit card required. Simple enough. Grab my course there and enjoy. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.